I think the system has collapsed. So and I'm specifically talking about the education system, as it is supposed to be constructed for it to prepare children for examinations. One, we haven't had classes since March of 2020 because of the COVID pandemic. Post that, when the government decided that schools should begin to reopen in phases, beginning with exam classes, which examinations are set to begin on the 1st of December. The children went back to school. The parents played their part in as far as paying for the school fees. But the teaching staff did not go back to school, citing incapacitation. And certainly you would understand their incapacitation. Their incapacitation born on the fact that they are earning an average $40 per month. And a basic bread basket for a family of four in Zimbabwe has been pegged by the Consumer Council of Zimbabwe to be at 21,000, which is around $220. So you would find that a teacher is earning a fifth of what is expected of them to survive. So $40 is not even enough to take them to and from work if they are going to be using public transport. So basically you have incapacitated teachers not to be able to report to work. So what has been happening is that from the time the teachers were expected to report to work, they haven't been reporting to work, and therefore students haven't been learning. So this compounds to the period where the students were not going to school on the basis of the COVID lockdown regulations. So basically you want to go and examine a student who hasn't been exposed to the examination material. And you would know that our examination system is that the examinations are set 3 to 4 years before a particular year, because they want to avoid influencing the examination paper. So examinations are set about 5 years before, and then the teachers are given a syllabus, and the examinations are set being in sets of about 3 or 4, and only a very few people know which examination is going to be written. So perhaps the 2020 examination paper was written in 2016, and therefore it was written on the assumption that everything is going to go well. The syllabus was given to the teachers. The teachers should have by now certainly have finished going through the syllabus by June, and now it is supposed to be simply a time for revision. And these children haven't been learning, they haven't been revising, they haven't been exposed to any teaching material, and therefore they cannot be able to be ready to write on the 1st of December. So to put it simply, in my view, the examinations will be foregone. Other countries have done that. Kenya, for example, Nigeria, for example. Other countries have done that. They have gone the examinations. Yes, in those countries they were citing purely COVID regulations alone, but in Zimbabwe we have got to cite the whole basket of issues which we have. We have got to deal with the labor issues which are being cited by the teachers. We have got to deal with the infrastructure at the schools, whereby there are no sanitizers, there are no masks. Some schools have got no running water. In fact, the government has said every school that does not have running water must not open. So you have schools in Mavuku which haven't been having running water for the past 2 years. They don't have bowls, so they can't open. So to that extent, I think, in my view, we have presented to Parliament that they must not open. They must not. The children, the students, must not sit for examinations. At least we must defer them and prepare to at least examine these students around May of next year, after we have resolved the challenges that we have. If we are going to examine these children in December, we have sacrificed the whole generation, because they're still going to fail. Unless if we are going to lie to ourselves that a student who has gotten less than 20% mark is passed, which means we are producing graduates who are not ready to serve in our industry, who are not ready to serve in our service system. So it's a crash on its own. If we are better off accommodating these students, perhaps on a rotational basis, to say, because after all, anyway, we have children who have examination classes who are deemed to be in class right now. We have their counterparts who are non-examination classes who are joining them on the 9th of November. The program by the ministry in order to to manage the infrastructure where one class is supposed to have a maximum of 35 children is that the children are now supposed to work to learn 2 days a week. Certainly it still inhibits or it still hinders on the exposure these children are going to have. But we would rather proceed with that level of scenario where children are learning 2-3 days a week. We concentrate on the examination classes, and so that they go on a rotational basis, and then we prepare them for examinations. It has to be a crash program, some form of a crash program, and this is what the teachers' unions have proposed, barring the resolution of the labor issues they have put on the table. Right now, the government has buried their heads in the sand. They have said they are going to unleash the military to go and invigilate in these classes. Yes, the children will sit. Yes, the children will be examined. But they are going to fail if the examination is going to be marked on a proper scale. Or the government will be forced to reduce the pass mark, which means we are failing a whole generation. We are pushing up a whole generation of people who will not have been properly examined. So we have a situation at our hand, and we have got to put our heads together, all stakeholders included. I'm sure a solution can actually come out. Unfortunately, the administrators of our education system, which is the ministers, are not consumers of a system they preside over. Their children are not attending schools in Zimbabwe. Or at worst, if they are attending schools in Zimbabwe, they are attending private schools which sit for Cambridge examinations. So the Cambridge examination is maintained its quality. The schools that they call them cheese schools, that administer Cambridge examinations are private schools with teachers well paid in an excess of 900 to 1,200 US dollars, as compared to a government teacher who is paid 40 US dollars. So the children of ministers are not in government schools. So these ministers do not feel the pinch, do not feel the pain that an ordinary Zimbabwean goes through. And therefore, they do not have the loss of an ordinary Zimbabwean parent who has his child or her child been groomed in a government school in preparation for a ZIMSEC examination, and they now face a whole loss of time because there is no examination to be talked about. There is no quality. The industry will resist any student having graduated in 2020, whether be it Form 4, be it Upper 6, or be it university. The industry will resist. We have faced this same scenario with the children of 2008, where industrialists were resisting any graduate of 2008 because they were saying, you people did not go through a proper education system. Because then we were facing a hyperinflationary environment. Teachers were not teaching. The children set for examinations. What did the government do? They reduced the pass mark. 20 to 30%, it becomes an A. And the industrialists pick that up to say these are not proper graduates, and therefore these children are stranded with their certificates. So if a child of a graduate of 2019, for example, comes to the same interview with a graduate of 2020, the industrialists will pick up a graduate of 2019 ahead of a graduate of 2020. But it's not their problem. It's a system problem.